Hello and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. It's 5:45 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Daylight has arrived, barely, but it has. So this morning we have from 1830, the Bellows, William Bellows Company, American Blended Whiskey. Now, this one is not from 1830, but the company was started then, and it is now owned by Luxco. So all the Bellows brands, the straight bourbon whiskey, this blended whiskey, the gin, the rum, the vodka, down the line is owned by Luxco. So don't be fooled by the label that says bottled by Bellows and Company, St. Louis, Missouri. It is Luxco. This whiskey is blended for maximum smoothness, established in 1830, a name of honor. But you can have an alias name. You know, it's Lagunitas the Waldos. They don't have to call it Heineken USA the Waldos, although that's who it is now. At least, I was going to say Leinenkugel was another good example. At least Lagunitas and Leinenkugel still have their own production facilities, whereas Bellows, well, they never did. They were always a procurer. From my understanding, what do they call it? A non-distillery producer, whatever. Contract. A brand holder. Okay, you get it. There are many companies that operate this way. They hold the brands, they don't really produce the product. It's all farmed out. Is that something new? No, it is not. Is it going away? No. Is it more efficient? Probably, because a lot of these places have excess capacity. In other words, there's a lot of days where there's nothing going on. When I went on the tour to Rochester, New York, to the NAB North American Breweries, Genesee. No, that wasn't the one. It was FX Matt. They were saying that they only run 5 days a week. In other words, 2 days they don't operate. I guess they don't have the business. You know what I mean? There's not enough. So see, with all the contract brewing, even then they don't have enough to keep them busy all week. Okay. And I think at Shiner they said there was 1 day a week they took off. I'm not sure, but I believe that's what they said. Ancient Age is you say, what is the competitor? Okay, Ancient Age. Blend preferred, Ancient Age preferred. Who prefers it? Yeah, I don't know. Introduced, the company, now this is from Buffalo Trace, Sazerac, but Buffalo Trace, the same old thing. It says, blended and bottled, didn't say distilled, does it? It says blended and bottled by Ancient Age Distilling, Frankfort, Kentucky. Everybody knows there's no such company. It's Buffalo Trace, which is not a company. It's a distillery owned by Sazerac, the Sazerac company. These are both 80-20 blends, 80% grain neutral spirits, unaged corn whiskey, essentially, corn spirits, corn alcohol, and 20% straight whiskey, probably bourbon. 20% straight Kentucky whiskey. Okay, well, there we go. We know it's distilled in Kentucky. You say where, though? At Buffalo Trace? This I do not know. Probably it's coming in from different places that they have, so they won't pin it down. You know, they don't have to. That's the appellation. That's the designation, Kentucky, okay? American whiskey means it's distilled somewhere in America. You say, well, that could be a lot of places. Correct. That's what I was talking about, farming stuff out. Okay. Bellows is very standard. It's not bad. I didn't say anything about Bellows being bad. It's just so standard it doesn't stand out. It's just kind of ho-hum, ordinary. But that's fine for $8.99 a liter. You know, a lot of people could deal with ordinary for that price. I can. It's fine. It's just standard. It's serviceable. I haven't noticed it presenting any funky monkey stuff. But we'll see, because when you put one up against a different one, sometimes it brings out things you didn't notice before. Now, Ancient Age, the company says 1946 Ancient Age was introduced. Research I did clearly showed that that's a mistake. That is 1936. Not 46, 36. I wrote him an email, and then the lady is saying, well, how can you prove that? And I said, I have documents. And she said, can you send them? I said, I certainly can. I sent them all attachments. No response. No change on their website. Doesn't matter to me. I'm sure most people could give a hoot when Ancient Age started. I just noticed that they were wrong, and I told them in a kind way, and they didn't bother fixing it. But then why should they? Sazerac doesn't even bother updating their own website for the last 3 or 4 months. Why should Paps worry? They haven't updated their website in years, literally years. It's pitiful that they could have the gall to run a company like that. Like, it's like they don't care about their customers. They're saying, well, if you don't like our beer, don't drink it. It's not a matter of that. It's people can't get the dang stuff. Then they can't access half their brands, and then they can't even get any information on their brands. I mean, if you want to run a mystery operation, go ahead, but don't fuss when you're like low profile and you get no, good sales, All right. I know some brewing companies that are so poor, they don't really even have their own websites. You know what I mean? They just have a web page on Blogger, that Google thing where you can write your own blogs, web logs. But so what? They'll put all the information about each beer, IBUs, ABV, year it was introduced, ingredients, a little write-up about it. They'll put current news, they'll put photos, and that's free. It doesn't even cost them anything. So I don't know. I don't want to start ranting and raving, but to me, it just seems bad that you can't do basic things. You're a big company and you can't even do basic things. Now, do these look the same? No, they do not. Well, I think I have the same amount. One is orange or amber and one is clearly gold. Amber and gold. I mean, I don't know if you can see that, but there's no way these are alike. These are two different colors. Usually these whiskeys, you can't tell them apart, But here, clearly darker. Gold. Now, is either one colored? You say, don't say that. You racist. Is either one colored with caramel coloring? I don't know. You might lecture me, say, you're supposed to call them whiskeys of color, not colored whiskeys. I can't keep up with all of these acceptable terms. Now MSN sending me something. No, I don't want to see that. All right. No age statement, meaning, you say, meaning it's at least 4 years old. Not the grain neutral spirits. They're unaged. The straight whiskeys in the mix are at least 4 years old. In Canada and Scotland and Ireland, the minimum is 3 years. But I think their neutral spirits have to be aged at least 3 years with them. I couldn't get a real clear picture of that, but I think that might be true. If somebody could definitively tell me. But then they can add coloring. So if it's Scotch whiskey, Irish whiskey, and Canadian whiskey, and they're aged 3 years in a barrel, why would they have to color it? But it could be a used barrel that has been, they say some of these Scotch barrels can be used 100 years. So, it wouldn't retain any char after that, I'm sure. There's no age statement on this Ancient Age. So that means the straight whiskey in there is at least 4 years old. Ho, 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 ho. I know this has got to be the Ancient Age darker. Or no. The Bellows, yeah, the Bellows is darker. I remember the Ancient Age being gold. Speaking faster than I'm thinking. Jeremy said, morning, Ron. Drewski Brewski says, cheers. Cheers to you. And Jeremy says, cheers, Drewski. All right, so I can't look. I can't look because the lighter Ancient Age is gonna tip me off. I think the Ancient Age is probably not colored, based on the fact that it's so yellow and not orange, and also that Buffalo Trace, you know, that's a big time bourbon facility, and you know, right, so the barrels are either freshly charred or not heavily used charred, so you would probably, after 4 years, without adding any color, you'll get that gold. You know, you'll get that gold. You say, yeah, but you're blending it with clear liquid. Yeah, I know. So you take that bourbon, could be a 4-year-old Ancient Age. You're blending it with clear corn alcohol, and now the bourbon might be red when it goes into the blender or whatever they use. Yeah, it's a big blender. They press a button. And then it'll drop down to gold, you know, because of the mixing. Morning, Ron and Jeremy. Thank you, Drewski Brewski. All right, here we go. I think the Ancient Age is going to have more of a sourdough aroma, sour mash whiskey, and then the Bellows is not. But it could be a tough little challenge here this morning. Could be a tough little challenge here. Oh, yeah, could be a tough little challenge here this morning. Oh, yeah. It's pungent. I'm picking up a little sourdough bread. So, a little cornbread. That might be the Ancient Age. I've had Ancient Age, the regular, you know what I mean? The regular old beige, what is that? Ecro. I call it Ecro. It's like a cream color. That's paint you could buy. Ecro linen. It's like a cream colored sheet. That's $9.99 around here. Aged 3 years, straight bourbon whiskey, straight bourbon. No grain neutral spirits. Okay. The preferred, same size bottle, different shape. $8.99 at Ben Q Liquor in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I can get the big bottle, you know, the big handle, for like $18.99 at Winn-Dixie. But Winn-Dixie's always expensive. Their prices are crazy. I never go to Winn-Dixie anymore. I go to Winn-Dixie once a month. I don't know how that place stays in business, but people shop there. Don't ask me how, why. You know, 30 years ago, 40 years ago in their heyday, that place was packed. Their prices were so good. Their meat was so good. Okay. This smells kind of basic. You say, oh, that's a real good description, basic. You know what I'm saying? Like bland. Now you pick up, okay, starting to breathe a little bit and picking up a little bread, cornbread. Pungent alcohol, corn alcohol thing. Oh, it's going to be a hard challenge, more. Another Ancient Age I have in the cabinet, I haven't opened it yet. Straight bourbon whiskey is the Ancient Age. You say, you stuttered? No, it's called Ancient Age, 10 star, age 6 years. Yeah. Bought that in Meridian, Mississippi. I could have come back with so much different whiskey and stuff from up there. Prices were good too. They were good, not bad. But I mean, what you gonna do? Just buy stuff all day? Something about this that reminds me of Buffalo Trace, and I don't know what it is, but my friend David talks about that. He said, I think Buffalo Trace uses the same strain of something. They have a common attribute. If you go from the $18.99 bottle of Buffalo Trace, you know, just regular basic Buffalo Trace, and you go up the line to Blanton's, for instance. Single barrel. There's a common note, and I don't quite know what this smell is. Is it a char? No, not with this, but it's something. I don't know. You got to try these things. It's hard to pin them down if you're not trying them. Or it's hard for me to pin down an adequate description if you haven't had it. Getting a little honeydew melon, though, on the taste. Uh-oh. I know, neither one of these is Heaven Hill. Let me tell you something about these blended whiskeys. You will come across some really weird flavors. I mean, weird. Even the blended Scotch, blended Canadian, blended Irish. Well, I haven't had enough Irish whiskey to really testify. But those other two, oh, man, they will come up. You get some very kaleidoscope flavors. Your argument might be, well, they shouldn't be like that. All kaleidoscope. Amen, brother. Amen, brother. But for $8.99 a bottle, are they sitting up till 3 in the morning blending this stuff with great care, with a lab coat on and a little glass, and saying, no, 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 go this further, calibrated to the left, centrical degree, extrapolation, palpitation, vector 9 3 7 8 4 2 2 9, adjusted 16 degrees centigrade algorithm. Someone's telling me they're not really doing that for $8.99 a bottle, and they're more like just throwing them together and letting care be thrown to the wind. And they figure people will stumble into the shop, buy it, and stumble home, mix it with 7-Up or Sprite, and be off to the races. Off to the races. You say, I bet they ain't blending Johnny Walker Black like that and Johnny Walker Double Black in a carefree manner like that. I bet you they're not either. And those ain't $8.99 a bottle. They ain't $8.99 a bottle. $8.99 a bottle. I'm having a struggle with this. This is a culture conf. Jeremy's laughing. He said, badly blended, huh? Well, I wouldn't say badly blended. I would just say blended according to a practice you would expect to match the price point. Now, if we want to call that bad, fine. But when you can go to the liquor store and get a bottle of McCormick's blended whiskey for $5.99, I guess you can't get too angry if it's exotic or if one tastes different from last month's. And I'm not saying any of this is going on, no. I say just assume that perhaps there's a possibility of such a thing happening, considering that I have gotten flavors that are all over the place with these blended whiskeys. You never know what you're going to taste time to time. Now, if there's so much variation with this, that's making me think there's a lot of variation with the blending, but I don't know that. Your argument might be you just don't know how to taste stuff properly. This could very, very, very much be the case. Which one tastes better? Oh, well, I guess I always have to chuckle when I try these things. Now, 7 Crown, you're not going to get that. No. That 7 Crown is straight up and down the line now. It ain't $8.99 a bottle either. Oh, that one there is a little bit more grain alcohol. Like you say, you mean like rubbing alcohol? Right. It's like drinking rubbing alcohol that won't kill you. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? I can't keep. All right. So I think this is the ancient age because I think it's got a little bit more quality control. And I think that's the Luxco, the Bellows, because I don't know about the Bellows, but I don't think I'm going to be chasing it down. You know what I mean? Okay. Anymore. I'm going to call this the AA. You say AA. That's a good thing for you to bring out because you need to, okay. You need to, I know you're getting nervous. Don't even bring that up. I say ancient age. You say AA, you got scared, huh? Oh, yeah, because I thought you was talking about American Airlines. Oh, don't worry, boo, because I got my flight rewards. I flew on American Eagle to the Bahamas. Boom. Okay, so I think this is woo. I think this is ancient age. It is. It is. That's why. That's now you say, oh, AA in your case stands for absolutely awesome because you got it right again. Before hubris takes over, I would not say absolutely awesome because if you watch my past taste challenges, there are many colossal and catastrophic failures. All right. But let's just disregard all that. Let's concentrate on today's great victory. Let's concentrate on 3 victories in a row. Okay? Because this is what democracy looks like. Did it. However, it is a 50-50 shot. It's like flipping a coin. You're 50%. You got a 50% chance of getting it right, even if you don't know what you're talking about in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So that has to be taken into account. But let's not do that. Let's only focus on the absolutely awesome aspect of it. Let's just say that it's my ability to do it. That makes me feel better. All right. Now, which one tastes better? Well, if you gave either one of these to me as a Christmas gift, I might make a funny face, but I would try to hide it. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be like, oh, look. Yeah, I had that actually before and got some left. You know what I'm saying? But I would appreciate it. You know, I'd say, well, thanks. And then, but I'd be thinking in my head, now I got to drink stuff. Yikes. What am I going to do now? Would I recommend either of these? I mean, I'll recommend them if you're an adventurous person like myself. If you're not persnickety about quality control considerations, you know what I'm saying. I mean, it's there. It exists. You could buy it. It's not poison. So you say, well, that could be their tagline. Buy this brand of liquor. It's not poison, at least. In moderate amounts for drinking purposes, it is not poison. So, or their tagline could be, buy this whiskey. It won't make you go blind. These things are all true. I actually would prefer those taglines than some of the stuff they put on these bottles, like, you know, that it's the highest art of the blender's abilities and the care we put into this is beyond belief. And you would never believe the great care we take to make this. And my answer would be, you're right. I don't believe it because it's $5.99 a bottle. So why would I believe that? At least when you buy Great Value coffee, the big, huge can of it, It just says great value, medium roast coffee. That's it. That's all it says. Something like it's doable. Or, you know, that ought to be the label. It's cheap. Buy it or don't buy it. Okay, so these two are interesting to an extent. They're palatable, obviously, since both glasses have been evacuated, expedited, you know what I mean? They're 80 proof, so you get that physiological, experiential avenue. But I wouldn't bring these to a whiskey contest. You know what I'm saying? Unless the whiskey contest was your local 750 under 10 contest. In other words, the only qualification, you had to bring a 750 or a pint. Let's say a liter. What am I saying? A liter. If it had to be a liter of whiskey less than $10 before tax, and that was the contest. Well, yeah, bring it to that. But I wouldn't show up at a contest with these and really think there's, because you know, all right, enough of that. I think we've made it clear. It's pretty obvious what we're dealing with here. Everybody knows that by reading the title. If they don't, they do now. Boy, he's flying. I heard wow. Sound like he was going southbound on US 61. Saturday is going to be a challenge that ain't going to be challenging because it's going to be Bellows versus Seagram 7 Crown. And if there was ever a blowout coming, that's going to be it. You want to buy a good blended whiskey for under $10? I don't think you can do that. If you want to buy a good blended whiskey and be willing to pay, then get Seagram 7 Crown. Okay? That tastes actually literally good, not situationally good. You know what I mean? Like it's good on its own merits. You don't have to sit there for 30 minutes and make some kind of scenarios in which you could tolerate it. So that's going to be a video I would say don't even watch it. So when you see Saturday morning, that's the plan. Saturday morning, an alert that there's going to be a taste challenge between Bellows and Seagram 7 Crown. You can save your 30 minutes and do something productive. Don't watch it because it's going to be it is going to be bad. It won't be any kind of contest. It'll be laughable. Maybe they should put this on the bottles haphazardly mixed. Smiling and thumbs up. You see, I'm saying all that. I really don't know if it's haphazardly mixed. I'm being sarcastic, you know, and droll. I just assume they're not because they have too many variables and flavor when I try it day to day. But it might be very carefully blended. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I could be totally off base. I don't think I am, but I could be. And I qualified all my statements with those considerations. So I'm saying this is what I think could be, perhaps, possibly the case. Brewski says, what do you do with all the bottles of the cheap whiskey that you don't like? I just drink them all. Because I do taste challenges with all of them. All right. In other words, over time, we just keep going one brand against the other, and then the level of the bottle goes to 0, and then I dump it out. So when it's empty, I throw it away. You know, I don't waste them. I said these weren't good. I didn't say I wouldn't drink them. You know, they're only bad within a certain context. I didn't say they were like literally bad. They're only contextually bad. You see what I'm saying? If you look at them for what they are, the class, American blended whiskey, they're actually pretty good. You say, but the context is bad because everybody knows that's a cheap product. I understand that. So you have to sometimes look at these things you have to have a certain perspective ability with these, okay? Goes where it should, trash can. And when it's empty. So this, well, I'll throw away the ancient age bottle, yes? When it's empty. This will be consumed. And I will enjoy it within the context of what we're doing. All right, so Drewski said, you're a champ. I'm a champion within a certain context. You know what I mean? All right. Well, I gotta go because I gotta go walking. I gotta go get the Catholic newspaper. I have to go clean. I have to do some cleaning. I have to do cleaning. I have things to do. I have things to do, places to go. Thanks for watching this video production. You take care now.